Thank you for tuning into this webinar. We're very excited to show you kind of what Gabby and I have built. Just as a brief introduction, my name is Fabian Garcia. I am the CEO and co-founder of CPALINK. And Gabby, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Gabby Smith, and I am the co-founder, and I work more with brand partnerships and things of that sort.
Excellent. And Eduardo, I wanted you to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do, what your practice does, and how long you have been in business.
Sure. Hi, my name is Ana Barbara Llorente. I'm the partner of Pendas International. We are a boutique CPA firm that works with international tax and international accounting. We have been around almost 10 years, and we are based in Austin, Texas, and we work mostly with international companies.
Perfect. And while we're on the topic, and since we're going to be talking about CPALINK, I wanted to get your thoughts, Ana Barbara, on kind of staffing, right? And how important staffing is for small businesses that provide professional services. And how have you been going about that until today?
Sure. And I think it's for us being a small firm, a boutique firm, but we offer like high level services. It's always hard to find that balance between hiring full time or having people that have the experience for projects. So it's always a struggle in our profession to find professionals with the experience we need, and sometimes the flexibility, because we are exposed to projects that maybe they last for 2 months, the projects that they last for a year. So I think having the access to professionals that they already have the experience, that they already that you know what they can help you with is super valuable for us.
Right. And also, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but also from just a pricing standpoint, right?
Correct.
It's very expensive to have, those fixed employees, and oftentimes small businesses, resort to contractors.
That is correct. Yes, and sometimes you have that fear, right? That if I'm going to have enough work for them or for that specific profile of the person. So it's always like, of course, a difficult decision to make.
Right. Yeah. So also kind of a little bit of background on why we just briefly touching on why we created CPA Link. So Gabby and I are attorneys and we both own our own firms. And we really do see kind of the need of being able to hire contractors that meet your standards and that will help your company grow. And we realized, wow, this actually does not exist in the accounting world. And that's why we had the idea of coming up with a platform that will match firms to the talent that they seek. And what we have done here, and I'm going to show you all kind of a tutorial on what the dashboard looks like for a hiring CPA. But basically, it's about helping you grow, helping the business grow, and meeting the demands of your clients themselves. Because one of the main complaints that we get as attorneys and as CPAs is my attorney or my CPA is non-responsive. They're not getting back to my emails. They're behind on work, and we just want that to stop. Um, so with that being said, I'm going to show you what we have come up with. This is what the dashboard looks like for a hiring CPA, and there's essentially two avenues for you to hire talent. Okay, what you're looking at right now is just the My Profile is very basic, but here, going back, we have the two avenues, right? You can either post a flat fee project, and this is for one-off help, right? So if I just need to get something done and I don't really need somebody long term, this is kind of the avenue that I will go with. And we also offer hourly opportunities, which is basically helping you, for example, if you have overflow work and you expect that, for example, during tax season, that you're going to have 4 months of steady work, we can help you out with that as well. So the beauty about this platform is, and how it compares to, for example, Upwork, Fiverr, and all these other companies, is that we actually make sure that the accountants that you're dealing with are vetted CPAs. So we make sure that their licenses are active, and that they actually are who they say they are, which again, many other companies don't do that. Um, so what you see here is we've actually used AI to help the hiring CPA and posting the projects because we want to make sure that your time is as efficient as possible, right? We understand that you may not have the time to be sitting there typing up everything. So we have the option to do it with AI, and we also have the option to do it manually. Okay, so let's say for the sake of this exercise, Ana Barbara, let's say what are you working on right now?
So let's say, I think the most typical one-time project is the preparation of a tax return, right? Like maybe a Form 1120 for a company.
Okay, perfect. So we are going to pretty much have a dialogue with our AI. And what we like about this is also just so that the freelancer that you're getting understands the scope of what they're being retained to do. We ask some follow-up questions here. So the main deliverable in your case would be a Form 1120, correct?
Form 1120 and a Form 5472 with international
572.
5472. 5472. That is a
Perfect.
specific international form.
Oh, my typing. Jesus. Okay. There we go. And the deadline.
Is gonna be April 1st.
Okay. 2026. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. So after we have this, we give it kind of like the scope, it's going to ask us whether this is going to be a flat fee project or an hourly engagement. So what would you like in this scenario?
So you mentioned that Fluffy is going to be more for, it makes more sense for a one-time project and hourly for a more collaborative relationship, right?
So if
Okay,
you told me, for example, that you are drained and you have 20 of these that you need to do,
yeah,
I would suggest that you use the hourly arrangement, just because it might be more economical. But since this is just one project, you may want to do the flat fee. So let's do
Fluffy,
flat
okay.
fee, okay?
Let's say 1,000 for saying a
1,000.
number.
Perfect. So we are also giving the hiring CPA the option to choose whether they are going to pay out the contractor upon the completion of the project, or if it's longer during milestones. Okay, in this scenario, I think upon final completion, right?
That is correct, yes.
Perfect.
This is when the
So
magic happens.
yeah, so this is going to basically create the job posting for you. And as you saw, the questions that it's prompting you to answer, they're not complicated, they're very, basic. So we're gonna read this over, and if it looks good, we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna post it. Okay. And what this does is, since there's a hiring CPA dashboard, there's also one for the freelancer, and the freelancer is going to be able to see the projects that you have.
Yeah.
The beauty also about this platform is that it's going to give the hiring CPA full control over the amounts that are being spent in the work that's being done. What I mean by that is, for example, for the hourly opportunities, the hiring CPA is going to be receiving a time card. Okay, and that time card, you're going to be able to approve it or disapprove it. For example, if this is a project, let's say we were doing an hourly opportunity and this is a project that you expect would take me 6 hours, but I'm billing you 30 hours, that's not going to happen. You can dispute it, and we're not going to release those funds. Okay? Of
And one thing, if I can add, so for
course.
me as a mom who's running her own business and I'm constantly multitasking, I don't have an HR person at my firm. Like I don't have an HR dedicated person. So if anytime I need to go find talent, I'm gonna go to some kind of platform that offers freelancers because that allows me to expand my team and then reduce it whenever I need. But the beauty, what I wanted to highlight about how Fabian just created the job post, it literally took a couple of minutes. And the AI helps you. You don't have to polish it and worry about, oh, the little words, did I include everything? It will actually tell you if there's anything you missed. And so from the time we were signed up until the time that he posted, it was like maybe 5 minutes. And that is something we wanted to be able to promise. I want to promise anybody who's using this platform that in literally under 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you can post a job. which is big because in my case, again, we're attorneys, but we work with CPAs. In fact, we've been working with Anna Barbara for probably 10 years now. And I don't have time to go parse through resumes. I don't have that time and I don't have even the expertise. So we take care of that and on your terms. That's the beauty of it. And I just wanted to highlight it because when we were building this, it was me, like my side of being a busy mom, running different companies and all of this, that I didn't want to waste any time as I was using an app. So this is designed for efficiency.
Right. And going off of what Gabriela's saying, I think the intent is also on the freelancer side. We expect that a lot of our freelancers are going to be those moms that, can no longer work full-time jobs, but they still want to stay active and they still want to, be able to, do their jobs. People that are about to retire, that they're going to retire, these are people that are very knowledgeable, but, they want to spend some time. And also people that, may want to go off on their own and they're not making enough money through their own practice, but they want to have this as supplemental income. I think the whole intent here is just again to grow the hiring CPA's firm and to help the freelancers do meaningful work and to get that recognition. So um going on here, you may see a button that says make a match. And that button is essentially we are also helping the hiring CPA find the talent with an AI that we have, which basically sees the profiles of all of the freelancers that we have on file, and it will match it based on what your requirements are. So, for example, if you want somebody that has auditing skills, or that has bookkeeping, has been doing bookkeeping for 7 years, or you name it, you'll be able to match with that person based on an algorithm that we have. And that again saves you time, like Gabriela said, so that you don't have to sit down and look at all of the people's resumes. Okay. Here also, like I said, this is a flat fee project that I made for the exercise of this webinar. So this one would be what a flat fee looks like. And then the hourly, again, with the time cards, you'll be able to see the time that your freelancer is spending. We also have a built-in messaging system. The reason being is because we want to be able to not control, but just make sure that the communications between the hiring CPAs and the freelancers are cordial, that you're getting the deliverables when you're supposed to, and then if there's any issues that we're able to intervene while it's happening as opposed to, later down the line.
Fabian, if
Uh,
I can ask you,
mhm.
you were mentioned that we are gonna receive like the time cards. That's once per week. We receive it through an email, through the dashboard. How does that work?
Yes, so the time cards, you will be seeing it in your dashboard, and you will be getting it once a week. So the way that it works is, let's say that I am willing to pay a freelancer $100 an hour, and I only need one for 10 hours per week, let's say. That's $1,000 per week, right? So you will pay the platform $1,000, that'll be held in an escrow account. And then the freelancer, for example, if I'm the freelancer and I only work 5 hours, I'm only getting paid $500. Then at the end of that week, we will tell you, look, this is what was used of your escrow account. Please refill the rest, and that will roll on to the next week. Then when
Okay.
you're done, that money, whatever doesn't get used, it'll get returned to you. But the most important part here is with anything is the communication, right? So like I said, you're going to have that ability to dispute the time cards. So if that happens, you should let us know via email, and we'll address it accordingly. Any other questions?
About the communication that you were mentioning, like the communication you said with the contractor or the freelancer is gonna be through the platform, right?
Yes, we
But
encourage it. Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
but I'm saying like maybe in the day-to-day work, and maybe I'm thinking I'm more like, no one time, like someone that you collaborate, that also can be done outside the platform, like through email or other type of methods, right?
Absolutely, and we would encourage that. We want the contractor, for example, in the hourly arrangements, to feel part of your team, and I think that is going to be crucial also for retention, right? So the more that the contractor feels like they're contributing to, your business, your cause, I think they're more likely to stay, more likely to do better work. So absolutely, you can create emails for them, you can send them your systems. The also kind of a point that we have here is all of the payments are managed through Stripe. Okay, so it's not like we're looking at any of your credit card information, none of that. That's handled by a third party. Stripe is very reputable, it's secure. And again, we have a very good system that allows us to track what is being charged on your card. Okay. But yeah. Yeah. Um, so as you see here, we also have a kind of like a very good notification system because the last thing that we want is sometimes the contractor may, send you the emails, for example, for the hourly arrangements, but for the flat fee projects, these notifications, they may seem insignificant right now, but they're very important because sometimes the contractor may not have sufficient information to complete the project. And sometimes, you may not be reached via email. So we want to have a very good notification system. And based on the platforms that we have used in the past, they don't work very well. So these work well, you'll be notified and you'll be, again, on top of everything that the contractor is doing. Um, Anything you want to add, Gabby?
No, I think you're covering it all. I wanted to talk about Stripe and I think you mentioned that. Yesterday we had a little discussion on the messaging system, and we don't have any restrictions in terms of if you can communicate with your freelancer offline. And our terms of use include protection so that freelancer agrees if you give them access to the email, they will, practice, they will not be negligent with the use of it, things like that. And we're open to hearing the feedback too as to what is important. We know that privacy is extremely important for the financial CPA industry with social security numbers and things of that sort being protected. And so we want this platform to work for you guys to be able to exchange and release that information. So yes, there are security guards, safeties, and agreements to make sure all of that stays safe and protected.
Yeah. So Ana Barbara, just on a general level, do you see this more or less fitting your practice? And again, you are likely around more CPAs than we are, even though we are relatively around them. But do you see this as a need? Do you see this as something that other small CPA firms struggle with?
I think so, totally. Because as I mentioned, like sometimes, again, two types of maybe extra work, they overflow, like maybe tax season brings for people that we work in taxes, right? And maybe you need that extra hand from January to April and that's it. But you need someone ready to go. Like maybe you don't have time to train them. Like you need someone that is ready to start working from day one. And second, like again, small firms like ours that they work with big projects or difficult projects that maybe you also need that extra support and maybe you don't have the money to hire full-time in-house person to help you. And again, maybe that project is 3 months and then after you don't know. So I think this flexibility, like Abby mentioned before, is for small companies is perfect.
Right.
And of course, you can create that relationship working maybe with the same freelancers and collaborate, more each other. But I think it's a very good place to go.
Right. And another thing that I failed to touch upon, but wanted to bring it up is when a opportunity finishes, whether that is a flat fee project or an hourly engagement, you'll be able to review your contractor. And this is important data for us because if the contractor is not performing, they will no longer be with us. We want the standards to be, the highest possible, and to minimize the headache on your end that if you're not getting the work that you asked for, you get it late. We don't want that. We want people who are serious, and we want people that will treat your work as if it was theirs, essentially.
Yeah. And that's, I think, very important for us, right? Because at the end, that person is going to be in your team, maybe even talking to clients, and you want people that they are ready for that type of work, right?
Exactly.
Fabian, can I ask you, like, what is the price or the fee structure for people like us that we want to use the platform?
So you will not have to pay us anything directly. The way that it works is you post a project based on your budget, And essentially, the way that we have structured it is it's at no added cost to you. So we allocate a very small portion for the platform, of course, because we need it to, fix whatever we need to fix with our developers and all that. But our intent is to maximize the amount of money that the contractor is getting. So for example, if you tell me your budget is $1,000, we'll take the small piece and then the contractor will get the rest. So it's not like you don't have to pay any sort of membership. You do not have to do any of that. Later on, we plan on implementing and opening up the platform to bookkeepers because we know that is also, something else. But for now, we only have for CPAs, but no added cost.
Okay, perfect.
Right. Yeah,
Uh,
it's free to sign up, it's free to use. And
Is
yeah.
there, I'm assuming there is no cap or limit of freelancers that you can use, right? Like, for example, if we need 5 people, like for different type of things, there is no problem with that.
Not
There
at
is no
all.
Okay.
problem. Really, what we want is just to make it easy for you guys, just the same way that, similar to how in legal. And again, in trying to remove for small companies, for small businesses, we don't have HR. We just don't have. You may be a
Okay.
solo CPA, a team of maybe 5 or 6 CPAs, 7, maybe 10 people. Who has time to go find a full timer? Nowadays, and so many of the new generations, they want to be independent. And so you could be hiring and by the way, these are all American licensed CPAs. This platform is not open to international accountants or CPAs. This is 100% vetted from the US and we check their licenses. Anybody who logs on the platform and creates an account will have to enter their CPA, their American CPA license, and we manually check every single one. And if we can't find it, we'll get in touch with them and we say, we can't, send us a copy or verify it. But, we already started verifying some and it's great. Our system is working beautifully. And so you have this safety, right? Because that as a professional with legal services where I handle confidential information, it's important to know who's getting a handle of that information. It's all information about our customers, our clients, and you want to ensure that that person is not going to be negligent, have any problems with it, that, disclose it. And so that, the fact that we're checking their license, I don't think there's another platform that does it. I think we are the only ones, and we're doing it at no cost to you. All you do is you show up, and if we have a match, you get to work with the person. The other thing that we don't have, and I think this is a big point, there are some platforms out there, not for CPAs, but some other platforms that restrict that whether you can hire that worker, and they say you can't hire them. We don't do that. Listen, if you hire somebody that you love, and then you say I tested them and I like the work they did with CPALINK, and then you want to hire them full time, we think that's great. I mean, that I think that is something you can do, and we're not going to take a recruiter fee or nothing, because all we did is just facilitate the descriptions. That's really easy for us. What we
Mhm.
do need, though, we are going to need to populate the app with as many CPAs as possible to make this even more functional for you guys. So with that's really important for us.
And I think that's a very important point for people like us, because you start working with someone that you like, and if you have these agencies in between that they're going to charge you
Mm.
like a year of
No.
salary, it's like it feels like you're trapped, right? Because you like
Yeah.
the person, but again, the investment to get that person is super high. So I think that's a very good point, and it's
Yeah.
more flexible for us.
Yeah. Listen, if you test them out and you like them, more power to you. We feel like we completed our work, which is make your life easier, because we know what it's like to build a small firm and to be on the marketing, the business generation, the recruiting, the HR, the everything around the business. No matter how small your business is, all these different departments apply to you. So these can basically be your HR department. And one thing that I can, it can also be a test. Maybe you want to hire one full timer. You can test 3 different CPAs for 3 different projects and say, you know what, I gave them 3 test projects. I pay them a reasonable fee. I actually like number one because they did it this way. And you can go ahead and hire. I mean, I don't find a problem with that. What we want, again, that's not the purpose of the platform, but I think it's one of the uses of the platform to try people out and see what you like and what you find.
No,
Yeah.
that's great.
And to add on to that, I think we also understand that the work is cyclical, like you said. So if you wanted 5 freelancers, we
Right.
understand that that might be for a short period of time, whereas opposed to, we're giving you the contractors that you could just end the relationship whenever you want. You can't do that with employees because you're gonna have to onboard them, do all that, and but it just takes too long. So this also gives you as a business owner kind of like that flexibility to, put the people where they need to be at the time that they need to help you.
And
Right.
two comments there. I think one, growth on our side. Like again, if you reach to bigger clients that maybe you are not ready for them right now, but again, you can have this pool of people that can help you to get to these accounts.
Yes, and our goal is to help you. That's also a big one for me, which is as a small firm, as we were saying, it's hard to go hire somebody top notch, for 150, 200, $300,000 a year. Good quality people are expensive, but good quality people are also doing freelance work. And so you can staff your team literally overnight. And that's our hope. We want you to staff a team for a big project overnight. And I know that's doable. Um,
Mm.
the only challenge right now is getting more users and more users and more users to bring in more diversity. We even have I don't know if we went over, we capture languages that the person speaks, and we're such a diverse country. If you need to, review bookkeeping or whatever that has a different language, receipts or whatever, you can find a CPA with very specific skills and qualities. And like I said, staff your team for 5 weeks. You have a big project, big audit. It's going to take 5 weeks. You could do a 5 week hourly. You select, oh, that's going to be 5 weeks. I'm going to need you 20 hours a week. And then we just find you the match, and then you work with them. And so I think it's a great platform.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it really is. And so yeah, we're excited to bring this to the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's all I have. I don't know if there are any other questions, but
Yeah. So
My
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I only have one last question. Like all the, like you mentioned before, right? Like all confidentiality, all those terms are between the platform and the freelance, right? I mean, they are
Correct.
covering that side that, okay,
Yeah,
correct.
technically the freelancers are 1099s of the platform.
okay,
So
okay.
in a sense, you can also look at the platform as a subcontractor between your firm, us, and then the freelancer. So the freelancer is like a secondment into
In
your
our
your
teams.
firm.
Okay,
Yeah. And
perfect.
that, I mean, that happens. That's what the gig economy does, right? Like there are many other platforms that, I won't name them, but
Sure.
you know who they are. And they basically do very, very similar work. The advantage here is this was made with CPAs and small firms in mind. This isn't meant for the big fours, as they're known, or the big massive firms. They have recruiting, departments. They have all of that. This is a solution for the fast-paced professional who either doesn't have a recruiter, doesn't have, well, not a recruiter, the HR person, and doesn't want to waste time because we find it as a waste time. Like we're not training recruiting, we're training CPA world, and we do numbers. So go click in a few clicks, get your profile set up, and then in a few more clicks, you can finish, post a job, and then we're gonna work very, very hard to get you the person that you need.
Well, thank you very much. This is great for us. Thank you.
Super. Thank you. I
Thank
want to
you.
just mention our email is hello@cpalink.work. Anybody watching, feel free to email us there, send us any questions, and we're very excited with this app.
Yeah. Thank you so much.